We're here to talk about Screen4Care for the next few minutes. For those of you who don't know, Screen4Care is a public-private patient partnership research project with the ambition to produce policy recommendations at the end of the project, aiming at accelerating the rare disease diagnosis journey for patients using not only newborn sequencing, but also artificial intelligence. Although the focus of the conference and therefore our presentation today will really focus on the first aspect. We started the project officially on October 1st, 2021, almost 2 years ago, day for day. So we're about midpoint through the project. This is a project of 5 years. We have our budget from the EU Commission and also the private partners. We have about 35 plus partners, and that number keeps growing, spread over 14 countries and about 200 plus colleagues who work on Screen4Care to turn it from a vision to a reality. So what is the vision of Screen4Care? Like I said, to accelerate the rare disease diagnosis journey, understand what is right now the complex rare disease diagnosis ecosystem in EU. As we see some of it here, there's a lot of projects, a lot of initiatives, a lot of stakeholders to consider, and so we want to try and understand this and make our results available for everybody who can use it, and hopefully continue to support the field. Develop a sustainable framework for newborn sequencing for the purpose of early diagnosis of rare disease, and then improve the accuracy and speed of patient diagnosis using digital tools such as AI and machine learning algorithms that potentially could flag patients early in electronic health records. So you will hear us talk a lot about work package. Our work is divided into finite units. If you want to try and tackle all of this, again, this is a big consortium, and I spent here a few minutes to talk about how we make this all work. Very often we hear the question, how does that work? What is the role of private partners, and how is the work conducted on a day-to-day basis? And so this is not a snapshot of the work, this is a snapshot of our organization and how we work with so many partners, so many folks focusing on different aspects of the projects. Also, we don't work in a bubble. We have many forums meant to be synapses between Screen4Care and the community, the stakeholder community, patient community, scientific community. So we have forums such as a scientific advisory board, a patient advisory board, and a multi-stakeholder engagement board that allows us not only to share some of the information, but also to receive feedback and insights. And all of that together helps us make Screen4Care evolve over time. And so we're quite happy with this. I will pass the baton to Alessandra Ferlini now, who will focus on some of the results, some of the work that's been happening for the first 2 years, and especially in the last year, since the last time we were all together to talk about newborn sequencing.
Thank you, Nicolas. So this dual speech exactly contains the heart of the Screen4Care, so working together with the companies and the academics. So getting to the results, we have, as Nicolas showed, 5 research work packages. We have already results in work package 1, which is the mainly you see here the list of some data. There are some papers in progress, so we hope to publish very soon this data. The work package 1 basically what has done is a landscape analysis of what is existing in the public domain, so literature, other sites, other centers, other initiatives related to newborn screening for rare diseases. And then that was the core of work package 1, and also interacting with other work packages, especially those using digital technologies. For work package 2, I'll go a little bit quickly because I want to stay in my time, is more the Screen4Care platform, including both data coming from other repositories related to newborn screening, of course, and also Screen4Care data, because we need to have our own platform where the output of the project, both for the newborn screening activities, but also for the digital tools we are going to develop, should be stored. And so these are some results Work Package 2 has achieved in the last 2 years. I would like to underline that the process in this work package, as in the others, is very synergic as a co-design, co-creation of tools, of supports and data sets with all stakeholders, all partners of the Screen4Care. But I think you might be more interested, of course, because we are talking about newborn screening and newborn sequencing, about Work Package 3. Work Package 3 is fully dedicated to newborn screening studies, clinical studies, including many types of approaches, from preference studies. You see here, we have already got approval from our ethical committees, almost all of them, and there is a paper already in preparation submitted to present which are the critical aspects and the rewards from preference studies for parents, couples, and stakeholders, of course, accessing newborn screening studies, newborn screening and newborn sequencing. Then there is a forum next week, I like to remind you that, in Barcelona, for the prioritization of actionable diseases, the 9th of November, chaired by Eurordis. And then we have finalized, based on robust criteria and scores, we have assigned to each disease based on the common criteria of treatability. We designed the treat panel. The treat panel is a targeted resequence panel, so I remind you that, including 245 genes. This is final. Indeed, we are approaching also the genetic design, so the designing of the true panel. We have done already prepare ethical application for this newborn screening based on the treat panel and whole genome sequencing in early symptomatic infants. That should be finalized almost by the end of this year. And also the newborn screening pipeline, how to connect birth centers, how to collect data, how to collect informed consent, how to present the Screen4Care project. We will probably use the nice video tools in order to facilitate comprehension for couples and parents. And then we hope to achieve a number of infants to be screened, around 25,000. This is still pending. Depends on many aspects, not last, of course, the economical aspect, but also the organizational aspect. So, just to see here the panel, I like to show you, I do not know if you can see that. I try, unfortunately, by this time, I cannot disclose, of course, 24/5 genes to you, all of them. But we try to analyze these genes by phenomics to understand which are the categories of phenotypes mostly represented in our panel. And you see here, that's no pointer, never mind. So there is you see obviously many metabolic conditions, more than 100, more than 30 diseases related to rare anemias and blood diseases. These are the main groups. And then followed by endocrinological disorders, 29, and neuromuscular and neurodegenerative diseases, which are 25, and then all the other groups. If you see that in a graph, of course, it's very clear that the major role is played by metabolic disorder. This is quite obvious. And this is also very interesting because, as you know, metabolic screening is ongoing in many countries in Europe. So with our treat panel, we hope to have the possibility to validate also, to have a cross-check with the metabolic screening. So dividing genes based on the inheritance, again, not surprising, the majority is recessive diseases, 168 genes. We are talking about genes because, disease genes is not always the same definition, correspondence. So 24 are dominant, 20 are X-linked, and, 33, they might be both dominant and recessive depending on the type of mutation occurring in the infant. So in those cases, we are able to discriminate, of course, the inheritance model depending on the mutation type. That's very important. It was a huge, fantastic work and process done by our package leaders, Stefan Sansen is here, and Ian Kirchner from Freiburg, so take the occasion to thank them so much. And then lastly, again, inheritance, I go to the end. These are the genes by chromosomes. That's another interesting way to see our treat panel, right? So, of course, you know that chromosomes are numbered depending on their size, so 1 to 22, which is the smaller, and then X and Y, you know, there are 6 chromosomes. And as expected, you have obviously many, many genes in the larger chromosome, but not necessarily this is the case for all of them. For example, if you look at chromosome 11, you have so many genes contained there that are included in our treat panel. Just a very preliminary observation. We will work more on that data because they look interesting. They can tell us something more. That's it. Again, I'm going to the finish. Then Screen4Care is starting to present some data. Finally, we are very happy with that. Thanks to David for our common paper on newborn screening published last year. And then we have just published a letter to the editor, so a short editorial in the Orphanet Journal describing Screen4Care. So we, have something already in the public, finally, explain and detail and describe. Thank you so much. These are our contacts, and of course, happy to have your questions. Thank you.